5 NBA players with the most pressure in the playoffs. The playoffs are nearing, and some guys, they got a lot of pressure to perform.
We should have a universal number one.
In these upcoming playoffs.
Universal number one.
We're starting at 1?
I'm just saying it's the easiest one for me.
We should collaborate on the list.
Okay.
I think number 1 is what
Easily.
you're thinking.
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum has the most pressure, undoubtedly.
There's no close second.
Rafe, do you have Tatum?
I do.
Okay.
On the list.
He's not number 1.
I don't have an order, but yes, Tatum will be 1.
Number 2 is
Rank
where
the
this
top
gets
5.
tricky. I don't know who'd be number 2.
Okay, I will throw a name. You let me know. Damian Lillard was who I have number 2.
I have Damian Lillard number 2.
I had Giannis on this list. I don't have Dame.
Giannis.
I don't think
why
there's
does he
any
have
pressure on Giannis. He won the championship.
It's similar to Jokic. Like, Jokic kind of has pressure, but, like, there's no reason to have...
But there's no pressure on Jamal.
No.
So
I just think just because you win one NBA championship doesn't mean you just lose pressure. And especially when they go get a guy like Damian Lillard, that just automatically puts pressure on your best player. And then like we was talking about before, like people think that year was a fluke with Giannis, the year they won the championship. So there's pressure to get back. There's pressure to still maintain that championship level. But I'm not opposed to taking him off the list. I think Dame is a cool name to put up here.
I think Giannis has been sensational this year. I mean, he's not in MVP talks because Luka and Jokic have been that damn good this season. But beginning of the season, first few months, he was in MVP talks. The numbers are crazy. I know Giannis is going to go out there and be the best player on the court in damn near every series. That's why I have Dame second, because when he's been playing like a superstar this season, the Bucks have been damn near unstoppable. When he scores 30 or more, they're 17-2. It's the games where he's scoring 25 or less points and they're 15-14. They're a 500 team.
I'm all for putting Dame on.
So I would have Dame at 2. He hasn't been, in my opinion, the superstar they thought they were acquiring.
If I'm putting a player 3, it sucks because I feel like there are 2 teams that belong here, like the Suns and the Clippers. They both got a lot of pressure. If I were to pick from each team, Kawhi doesn't have any pressure. Paul George, I don't think he has more pressure than James Harden.
He has a ton of pressure.
I think number 3, it might be
Kevin Durant.
Devin Booker, Kevin Durant.
I put Zion on my list.
I had Kyrie at 3.
You know why I didn't put Zion on my list?
Why?
Because people don't think the Pelicans are shit.
I had Zion at 5.
But I think that's Pelicans.
He has to perform in the playoffs.
that's
He does.
Pelicans pressure.
I
I
don't
think
think-
with Zion, he has to come in and perform.
He has to play well. I don't think we're expecting them to make a WCF run, but Zion has to come out
individually
here. He has
him,
to be
yeah.
Does
efficient. He has
Zion
to be the
have
same
more-
Zion regular season.
I don't disagree with you guys. Does he have more pressure on him than a Luka Doncic?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Because we know Luka's going to walk in and be great.
What's Luka?
I understand. I'm anticipating he's going to be great too, but there's still pressure on him to be this great player, because if he's not, then the Mavericks aren't shit.
The thing is, if Luka goes out there, say they lose in 5 or 6 games, I don't think the conversation all of a sudden becomes Luka's not a good playoff performer.
Well, it'll be super narrative driven off last year they missed the playoffs, and this year they disappoint first round exit.
Question.
But it's just the first,
Drew,
his first
if-
3-4
let's
years.
throw these-
Losing in 5
legendary.
Let's throw these two
terrible.
hypotheticals in the air.
I mean, Donovan's first 3 years were legendary too, and
No,
now
he was amazing. If Luka doesn't play well,
good.
in the
not saying that
playoffs-
Luka's
Luka's
as good as
Donovan.
Luka.
Luka's not Donovan.
If
Their
Luka
numbers
doesn't
ain't
play
the same
well
either.
in the
They're
playoffs, you're just going to say he had a bad series, correct? If Zion walks in his first playoff series
That's fair.
and he does not play well,
That's the narrative.
noise on him is going to be
He's
nasty.
not a player performer.
Which is kind of why, now that we can come full circle here with that argument, so now I kind of have to eat what I'm saying because this is kind of my logic for that too. My number 3 was SGA.
I had SGA at 6. I didn't write off my
This
list.
is his first playoff
You can have him
series.
as top
This is
5.
him in a conversation where he's legitimately really in a strong discussion for top 5
No, he
players
has to
in the
perform.
world. He is an MVP candidate. You can't perform anything less than that in your first real playoff series as the one.
So who has more pressure? Kyrie or Zion in the playoffs, walking into the playoffs?
I think Zion has more pressure. I think SGA has more pressure than both of them.
I thought about Kyrie over Luka because Kyrie needs to play at that high level. We are all anticipating Luka will because that's all he's shown us. But again, off of the most recent Kyrie Irving playoff performances, I feel like he does have pressure on him to perform, but he already has the championship. That's kind of why I kind of left him off of this. He really doesn't have that much to prove, and I feel like he doesn't have real pressure on him.
So is SGA number 3 over Kevin Durant, Kyrie,
You know,
Zion?
just hearing you out, and again, we're adjusting lists, I would have KD and Booker over the Luka, over the Zion,
You would put Devin Booker over SGA?
I wouldn't have him over James Harden. I still think James Harden. No, I have SGA.
I think SGA's cooked. Excuse me, I think Harden's cooked.
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't
so
put Harden
bad.
in my top.
But there's
five.
still pressure on him.
Yeah.
There's just no it's not realistic though for him to go out and
Harden's not going
be
to
who
give
he
you 25
was,
and 10.
You know,
Like, he's not.
No,
Gonna do that.
I agree with that, but he still needs to be what you've seen him all season long, which is
kind of been
the
pretty
best.
bad recently.
No,
Yeah, he
in the month
really
of
is
March,
struggling.
no, his shoulder's really been
His
fucked
finger
up.
too.
The month of March, he was horrible, but from October to February, he was playing some extremely efficient ball.
I think Kyrie I would have over all of these guys because when we're talking about KD, he's the number one. We know what we're expecting out of him. SJ, even though he hasn't been there yet, I think we all expect his game to translate. The Mavs have a player who's in the MVP conversation. They've been one of the hottest teams in the NBA. With what they've given you defensively, the last 23 games, they're a top 8 defense. Derek Lively, who I think is going to miss a couple weeks actually, but hopefully he's back for the playoffs. Him and Gafford at the big position. If the Mavericks don't advance to at least the second round, I feel like Kyrie's probably not playing up to his expectation because I know Luka's going to go out there and give you 35, 10, and 9 probably every single night. But I think Kyrie has to be that second player if they want to get over the top. That's why they paid him. That's why they trade for him.
I think Kyrie does have more pressure than SGA because I think SGA.
Oh, Lord, no.
Because I
Lord,
think
no.
Kyrie. When's the last time he had a great playoff series? You can't
been a
name
while.
it.
And
I know
Thunder
this is
is so
SGA's
young.
first, but
I don't
SGA.
think that matters right now.
I think it matters a little bit for SGA because he can play well, and the young players around him probably wouldn't rise up to the occasion.
But that's if he
I don't
plays
think
well.
that's the case. But I feel like SGA. I don't know if there's a lot of internal pressure.
I agree.
I think externally, because of the conversations fans are having about where he ranks, it's pressure. But Kyrie Irving, I think there's internal pressure for him to play well in the playoffs for the first time in God knows how long.
There was questions about who's going to pay him this offseason.
Here's the
Like,
thing.
he
Here's the
wasn't
thing.
at
Here's the
suitors.
thing with that. We can't. SGA is going to be a 2-time All-NBA first team, back-to-back years. He's already in the MVP discussion, and they're the number 1 seed. You can't do all of that in the span of 2 years. Have the number 1, number 2 seed go into the playoffs, and if you don't play well, it's just chalk it up to he's young. That pressure immediately, once you become a top 2 seed, you're an All-NBA first team player.
Happened to Giannis.
Yeah, once you
It
do
happened to
that, and you're
Giannis.
like, you have to come in and you have to set a statement from day one. This wasn't a fluke. I can replicate what I'm doing. Because if he doesn't replicate what he's doing, now it's like, all right, well, then what are you truly as a player?
Yeah,
You're
the Michael
just a-
Jordan comparisons and similar style of play and similar statistics, they quickly go back to DeMar DeRozan.
I'm cool with having SJ 3 and
That's
Kyrie.
just how
It's just more
that's
pressure on-
just the
'cause
disgusting
he's also
narratives.
a number 1. There's
So
just
if-
more pressure
if
on him
SGA is
regardless.
3, then who's 4?
I would have Kyrie 4.
I'm fine with Kyrie at 4. I have James Harden on my list at 4. But your guys' logic, it's fair. But honestly, KD can be in this conversation too.
You think KD has more pressure than D Book?
I think KD has more pressure than Kyrie Irving.
I think Kevin Durant has had pressure since he left Golden State. every
Kevin
year.
Durant is really in strong contention, even for number 3, honestly.
Why does D Book have pressure?
Is Zion not in this conversation?
He should be 5.
I can hear
Zion.
it.
I
Because
would
again,
have-
the way I have SGA here, I can understand your guys' logic for Zion.
Because I feel like, KD, he's trying to prove himself, but he's a champion already. Like, I don't even
He's a
think,
locked-in Hall
So
of Famer,
Kyrie's a
like-
champion
No, Kyrie's a champion, but Kyrie hasn't had a good playoff series
since.
since that moment. KD in 2021 was
That's fair. That's
awesome.
Fair. That's fair.
I feel like with Devin Booker, it's just this image just is in the back of my mind whenever I talk about him. Last year, they lost to the Nuggets, and
He was hurt, though.
D Book, I know they lost. I know he was hurt, but D Book didn't show up for the press conference after. He left KD out there to handle that all by himself. I thought that was a terrible look. And essentially, like, what the Suns do or do not do in the playoffs, this might be the last iteration of the Devin Booker era in Phoenix.
So do y'all want to put Kevin Durant and Devin Booker at 4 or 5?
There's a lot of pressure on both of them.
I'm fine with that, actually.
Well, we can put them together
I
at
feel
4.
like Booker and KD have more pressure on them than Zion.
Yeah, I think Zion could be an honorable 6.
I think James Harden still has more pressure on him than Zion.
I think we kind of don't like.
it's done. Like, that's it. We don't
I
care.
think we're all at the point where like
If you're the third option, like how much pressure can I really put on you?
The Clippers are championship or bust every year.
I think
You forced your way out of Philly. You wanted to go to the Clippers. You got what you wanted. If you play like shit, what's going to be the story? We're
I'll be
really
honest,
going to
bro.
look at his
I think
career
the duo of-
completely different.
If PG and Harden play like shit, PG's gonna get more of the slack than Harden.
Who has more pressure on them?
Yeah, I think so.
The duo of PG and Harden or KD and D Book?
KD and D Book.
You think they have more
KD
pressure?
and D Book.
Yeah, because PG and Harden not really the duo.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
But they are two of the three players
That's what
on
it
there that
is.
don't have a championship though.
Yeah, but I don't think they're
And
the
they're not
duo.
extended also.
Like Kawhi and PG would be the ones with the pressure. And I still think Kawhi has pressure, not top 5 pressure, but I still think he has pressure to deliver a chip to the Clippers.
Joel Embiid is exempt from this list.
I have
Because
him
he got
exempt.
hurt. If
he was healthy,
didn't
he'd
get hurt,
be
he'd be
number
one.
He number 2
Are
One.
there
Number
there
two.
are
One.
3 exemptions
Most
from
definitely
this
number
list?
two.
Why would he be number 2?
because Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum has made it to a
He
final.
has a super team.
He didn't have a super team win to the
I'm
finals.
talking this year.
Joel Embiid has not made an ECF yet.
I understand.
The
He would be
third
number
round.
2.
Do you know what that means?
Correct.
That means he's never made it past the second round.
His
think-
team is not as good as the Celtics this year.
They would have been a 3rd seed, maybe a 2. They wouldn't
When
have
he
even
was
played
healthy,
Boston
they were
until
playing
the ECF.
like the
I
second best
understand
team in the
wholeheartedly.
NBA.
Nah, brother, he still would have been one.
He would, yeah. You can't
The
be the
Celtics
best
have
player
been
in the
by
world.
far and away the best team in basketball. No close second in
Drew,
the
has
Eastern
Joel
Conference.
Embiid ever had a memorable series?
No.
And he hasn't made it to the ECF.
Nope.
So what are we doing?
How many
here?
memorable games does he have?
in the
Not
playoffs?
many.
Like
He's always been hurt though.
Oh, yet again.
I can't.
That's not enough. That's
It's not. It's really. It's
I'm
nothing I
not
can do about
being exactly. I agree. It's not something that I'm happy to say. It's just the honest truth, though. And
I think the way-
Jason Tatum, his finals appearance, like you mentioned, he's gone to the finals. The big reason why people knock Jason Tatum is that finals performance.
I think the way you can argue it is
And
Jason
Jason Tatum's also
Tatum,
been
the
extremely unclutched this
expectations
year.
for the two players. The expectation for Tatum is you better win the finals. The expectation for Embiid is we'd like to see you go out there and have a good playoff series. So the pressure of winning an NBA finals compared to having a good playoff series, that's where I could level with you.
Correct.
That's fair.
That is fair.
Correct. That's really what it is. Because with Jason Tatum, it's if you don't win a championship your entire season, regardless if you
Tatum's
average
season
30.
starts in the finals, legitimately. Like nobody cares what you do. Even in the first and second round of the playoffs, I don't
That's
think
it.
people are going to care.
That's it.
ECF, they'll probably start to care, but if like, I don't know, it's like
I feel
a
like you can
5-game
low-key say
series.
that about Embiid though. Nobody cares what he does in the first round.
I think people do. Like you said,
No,
he doesn't have
no.
a dominant playoff series.
Yeah, but I don't think we care what he like. If he hypothetically was healthy, they were a top 3 seed. I don't think we care what he does to the Pacers or some shit or the Hawks or something. I don't think we care. I think it's about that next round when you play a Bucks or a Knicks or a Boston or whoever it was. Can you have that dominant series now and be the MVP guy in the moment where we need you to do? Not in the first round.
But still, we're still talking about second round compared to the absolute minimum for the Celtics is reach the finals.
That's a Celtics thing. I don't think that's like a
That's
like,
led by
But,
Tatum.
but he's the
It-
face of the
course.
franchise.
Yeah,
led by
that's
Tatum.
true. That's true. That's true.
I mean, how much pressure does like Jalen Brown and Porzingis
And then
have
on top of
realistically?
it,
But
there,
Jalen Brown's got 50 million. So
With-
he has,
But still, I don't think is he top 10 on this list?
he's not. With the Celtics also,
Maybe 9 or 10. maybe 9 or 10.
maybe 10.
I don't know, man. I think it's pretty easy for me. Jason Tatum's one, even if Embiid was 100%.
If these players were healthy, I would have them on this list. Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, and Julius Randle.
Does Ant have pressure on him?
No.
I would have Donovan Mitchell on my
also
Donovan
was
underrated
Donovan.
list.
Donovan
my
was
list.
honorable mention.
You have to play well. Simple
Yes.
as that. No
You need
excuses.
to, I'll
You
be
can
honest,
lose.
You need to get out of the first
No,
round.
you can't lose.
You-
In the
you
first
have to
round,
get
you
out of the
cannot
first
lose.
round.
If you play the Knicks round 1,
Don't
you
care.
can't lose.
I do not care.
That's
I don't care.
unreasonable.
No,
the Knicks are better than they were last
But that
year.
doesn't mean you can't beat them.
I don't think they can.
That's chalking it up to being a loser. I'm not chalking that up. If you
There's a chance. Let
if
me
you
not sit
if you
here. I'm
are a
going with
prime time,
Knicks.
if you're a prime time player and you want to get paid like prime time money and you want to put and you have put yourself in that category if you can be an elite playoff performer, I expect you to win. I don't expect you to sit here and coddle up to, they're just a better team, we're going to lose. No, because he's played better teams before and he's beaten them. So I'm not giving him the excuse.
How
you need
often
to play
has
better.
he, though?
As a rookie, his
Against
first
OKC.
year coming in playing OKC,
yes, but then
he
since then he
outperformed.
hasn't.
But it doesn't matter.
But
That's
he
why
did
the
it
pressure's
once.
there. That's why
You
the
do it
pressure is
once.
there.
I mean, he got to perform.
Oh, no, agreed. But that's exactly what I'm saying. He can perform, and if he falls short against a team like
What
the
if he
Knicks,
doesn't play
I
the
don't
Knicks?
think- I
What
don't
if he plays
think-
the Pacers or Heat? Because right now,
you can't lose.
that's most
To
likely
the Heat,
Pacers or
so the
Heat.
Heat, though, is understandable, even though they haven't been that good of a
I
team.
can't just give them it's
No, I'll say this.
understandable.
I think
To the Knicks, though?
the Knicks are a better team. I think they are better, but
They're not
if
unbeatable.
Donovan Mitchell plays up to his level, he should at least take that game to 7 or propel the Cavs.
I agree.
The Cavs are not talentless. They got
no,
talent.
no, for sure. I'm not saying they're not. I'm
And
not trying
especially
to
with
shit
our
on the
injuries.
Cavs.
The Knicks are not a juggernaut, bro.
But when healthy, I find it hard to think that the Knicks don't win that series.
If Donovan Mitchell is playing great, I find it hard to
but
believe they can
Donovan's
go
also
7.
been banged up himself.
That's my
Mitchell
point,
needs to
though.
outplay Brunson.
Do we think that happens?
I think
There's a
he has the
chance.
ability
He
to.
has the
But
ability
you're
to do
taking
it.
Brunson going into that series. You're taking the Knicks going into that series.
Right now.
He
At the
has the
start of the
ability
season,
to.
and honestly, at January, it was honestly Donovan
Oh, yeah,
Mitchell was
they were
in
beating the
strong
Wizards and
MVP
shit.
conversations.
Donovan Mitchell was an MVP conversation all year. It's
Correct.
just the team wasn't
And
performing.
then also now this unfortunate injuries that's kind
Sure,
of
but I'm
lingered
not
for
giving.
these
I'm
last
just
2
not
months.
going to let him. I just can't give him the lay down and just if they lose, they
And
lose.
I know this is more so a Donovan Mitchell conversation, but Darius Garland has really struggled.
He's been hurt. But I'm not. Darius Garland doesn't get the same pressure as Donovan Mitchell.
No. I'm not. I only mean that in the sense of his co-pilot, his
For
guy.
sure. His co-pilot played. He's the only one that won them a
One
game
game,
last
you're
year.
right, I agree.
So that's where the pressure comes from. His co-pilot got him the one lone win
Yep.
in the Knicks series. If Donovan Mitchell plays
And Jared
better
Allen's
than when
been
he
better
plays
this year
last
than
year,
last.
then that series goes to what 6-7 if Donovan Mitchell plays up to his
I mean, we
standards
thought
last
the
year.
Cavs were the favorites.
You
the
got
Cavs should
Strus
have
now.
won.
Okoro's
Yeah, so you
been
got
better.
a better
It's a
team.
better
now. So
team.
I don't. He doesn't
Especially
get
if
that
the
excuse
Knicks,
for me.
if the Knicks don't have OG, if the Knicks have OG, I
That's
think
correct.
that's fair. If
That's
the
what I'm
Knicks don't have
assuming,
OG
too.
though,
I assume
there's
both
no
teams,
reason that
if
shouldn't be a
both
6-7
teams are
series.
healthy, if this is less than
Including
a 6
Randall?
if both teams are healthy
yeah,
and
crazy.
this is less than a 6-game series and Donovan isn't performing, that's an embarrassment.
Agreed. If
That's
he's
an
not
embarrassment.
performing, but my whole point was, if he is
If he's performing,
they
they should go to 7.
If he's playing
and they
like
lose.
a superstar,
Are we upset at Donovan?
No.
I think that's
Agreed.
okay.
All right, that's
Only
all right.
to
We're
the
here.
Knicks.
We're leveled.
So the only way you could lose in the first round is
But if they
to
go
the
to
Knicks,
7,
they're
like you
healthy, and
mentioned,
you go to 7,
all bets
and
are
you
off.
play well.
And if you're talking best player for best player, if Donovan is performing to where they have the game 7, that's a pick 'em at that point.
What if they play the Magic?
they should beat the Magic.
They have a strong chance
defense.
to beat him.
I love
But
the
the
Magic,
offense for the
and
Magic
they're
is
so
really-
young.
I
They're
mean, they
such
should be
an
favored
overachievers.
against the Magic and the
the Pacers.
Pacers.
That's not an easy one though.
And it
Magic.
should, a toss up.
I think it's a 6, maybe 7.
It should
game
be a
series.
toss up with the Knicks. I think that's a toss up series. I would take the Knicks in that series, but I think
I think the Knicks
if
should be minus 200 going into that series.
If the Cavaliers play up to their level and their potential, then that's a tough series. It's not going to be easy.
No. The Cavaliers are still a really good team. I just think at full strength, both of these teams, the Knicks showed, even though it was a small
The
sample
Cavs
size.
haven't been in full strength all year though.
And neither
That's the problem.
realistically, neither the Knicks.
Yeah.